Hey everybody, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you are familiar with my junk finds and thrift flips, I actually found this Singer sewing machine free on the side of the road. Garbage man was coming. We stopped and we put it in the trunk and we unloaded it, and we've been sitting here pouring through original paperwork from when it was bought in the early 1900s. A small little layaway plan and a trade-in unit, and the lady was able to take it home and make payments on it for a little while, and I think it was dated maybe 1934. I have to relocate my paperwork, but look at this wonderful find here, full of original feet and tools, bobbins. So the original screw that holds this piece on here was missing, so I'm trying to find something kind of authentic to hold that spot on there. And it's repairable, but there is a leather belt, and on the other end of this leather belt there's a wire that goes through here and it hooks, kind of like a fish hook similar, and you're supposed to apparently undo this before you lower it back down. So it came undone when I folded it back up. But let me clean this and show you these wonderful details on these drawers. People buy these drawers just separately. They are the perfect size to fit about 3 pint mason jars, cobwebs and all. And a lot of times people are repurposing these, gutting the machine out, which is just a beautiful enameled work of art, and I can't imagine separating it. It is heavy and cumbersome, but to have on display in a house that had room, look at that, with an old quilt sitting on it would just be so perfect. So we're trying to find a spot for it. Our house is not big and our family size is large. Beautiful cast iron base. Let's take it in and clean it up. So when I work on old pieces of furniture that aren't going to be sanded and stripped, and they just need some new life brought to them, this is quite dry, and it actually looks like there's marks from somebody stripping off a polyurethane layer. Restore finish is really good for that. Antique oil finish is really good, or just plain furniture wax. And it's like car wax. It's hard wax, and you use it to buff and polish, which is really good. Now this actually needs some cleaning, and short of like Murphy's oil soap or Pine Sol, I don't want it too terrible wet. We don't want the wood to get wet and soak that up and then have any delamination going on. So I'm going to give it a good cleaning, just wiping it off to get the dry dust off, because this was found on a dirt road and it actually looks like it had been in storage in a garage for quite some time. And then possibly take the brush attachment of the vacuum to it as well. But I will tell you, this antique oil wax is great for projects like this. Looks like somebody dripped some paint on it even. Great products to use and readily available at any hardware section of most stores. But this Howard Restore Finish comes in lots of different colors. Something similar is a furniture cleaner. The name's slipping me offhand. I'll come to it. And you can get different colors for different types of wood or finishes of wood. So this whole beauty looks a lot better in this space than it did out in the garage next to the tractors. But when it came time to unload, that was the only spot we had. So I'll give you a quick once over of it. Just a little pan here. And this is why the Restore Finish works really great on a old piece like this, because lemon oil or furniture polish can only do so much, because the years of this touching or rubbing has caused that. Yeah, see right there, it's right about the thumb size. They pull their hand away, or maybe they have fabric on their lap that's going underneath. So super, super neat. It would be great to see if I had that little key in this drawer. I'll have to check. So when husband gets back, I'll find out where the paperwork went, because I checked the desk. This is off of something else. There's a slat there like it was holding a little knife or something. And I don't know what all the different feet are. Comment below and let us know what they are. This has got a rolled edge on the side there, so maybe that has something to do with hemming or making like bias tape. Again, there's another little rolling section there. That looks like it might be for making bias tape. Feed it through the top and down through the back there, so it would go under the foot. Couple little, just a pushing needle. Got some extra things here that don't belong. Looks like somebody made themselves some curtains at some point. Isn't that neat? And this originally was bought at a shop in, and there's another rolled section to do smaller ribbons and trims. The paperwork said Flint, Michigan on it. And I believe it went to maybe Durant. And this was found just west of Lansing. Look at that. Very neat. I actually have, and this is the piece that I showed you out there. It's got a spring in it. So I think that spring keeps tension on the belt. This looks like a newer foot. Singer Britain 161127. Maybe it just wasn't used a lot. Oh, I bet you this is needles. Yep. Needles. Oh, that's great. There's a thumb screw. An old metal bobbin. A piece off another foot. Oh, there's some more feet in here. Here's a little piece. Not sure what those are for. Maybe hooks, hook fasteners for like the back of a dress. Another one. This is like it's off of like a pair of trousers. Old fasteners are just the best. I hear that's all the Amish use. No zippers, they use buttons. This is familiar to me. What is it? Okay. It could be an old needle. Let's open this up and see what these other needles are. It looks like it would go up into the machine that way. It just doesn't, well, maybe it's a broken needle because it doesn't feel sharp. Okay. I just got some little bits from the paper. Okay, so that's it for that. But look at how beautiful that is. I actually had a drawer similar to this that I had painted. And these have, you can see that, there's a wire that puts tension so they don't slide out so easy. When they go into the drawers, it puts tension on the upper one. So I've already looked at it a little bit. This is the first thing I came across. I said, that's not right. Somebody threw some extra parts in here. That's a cam lock off of modular furniture and an Allen wrench. So those do not belong. But do you see what I see? 2 keys. Look at that. So one of those, or both of them, works for the drawers. And it looks like these are some replacement pieces that came out later. I do know that they sold this model for quite some time, and I believe it set up to like 1950 they were still making these. These feet are shiny, like chrome plated, versus these others seem to be made of steel or something. They're not, they're just different. It's like a stippling foot. Like for free motion quilting. This is the style of bobbin I grew up using on old Singer sewing machines. Nut. I wonder if that has anything to do with this piece. Okay. Little felt pad. Just a little washer and another smaller nut. And that looks like it could be the right size for that. Maybe. We will see. Let's see about these keys. Oh, this is exciting. What does that look like? No. This is small, like for a diary or something. And this is flat, so I don't know. Oh, it goes through. Oh, look at that. It's the key. It's just flat. See that? So if you were looking for a duplicate key, you could make one from a filed off blank or an old key. Does it lock the drawers? See, so that's open. We have slats there. Oh, this is fantastic. Working keys. Okay, now let's show you the machine. Isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna clean all this up with lemon oil, and that's what I was saying about the restore finish. Lemon oil works great if you don't need to correct these little nicks. Okay. So that opens up to create a table surface for us. And that's why I could see here, it's been scraped at with probably like a nylon. The original varnish is crackly. And it almost looks like they were trying to strip it off and gave up on working on it. Now, here's the other end, like I was saying, of the needle. So when I had this out before, I just unknowingly folded it back up and I heard a snap. So you can see I lost 1/4 of an inch on my leather, but they still make these, so look at this. Look at that. Okay, so this goes forward, and that's gonna go back down after we lift it up. Lift her up. And that's what she looks looks like inside. This is all heavy cast. Okay, I'm gonna set this piece down. So then that sits there like that as a support for the rest of the machine. Oh, it's grand. Look at that. She's even got thread on her. Singer Manufacturing Company. Now it looks like they lost their original holder. They have a new screw there. That's wrong. We'll have to look at some pictures online about getting the right holder for thread. I like, we are what you call purists, even if it's just going to be for looking at. Here's your thread guides. Loops through here for tension. Yep. These pieces are going anywhere from $20 to $50 ish up to $500 online, and I'm sure a dealer would know which one is the super prize. But this emblem right here, look at just a beautiful copper work of art. Singer Manufacturing Company trademark. Needles and thread, the letter S. It's beautiful. This could not have found somebody to appreciate it more. This is not something, ooh, a serial number. 75, maybe an 8. 3495. It could be a 0, I can't tell. Oh. Looks like a 0. Oh, G. G7503495. Look at how that 5 is stamped. I got out of line. They stamped each one of those numbers individually. So that 5 was added after a batch. The beginning part was a batch number. Look at this beautiful piece. Some patent numbers here. Patented, the last patent mark on this, 1910. The first one was 1900. June 14th, 1910. Gotta find that paperwork. I remember when we found this, we have a house of a similar age, and I thought this needs to go there. But I don't know that I would want to sell it with the house. If you look at some of our videos, that's where we've been working lately. And I've been thinking about adding a sewing room there and an attic space. I know where it would go if I was going to live in the house. That's for sure. Oh, just look at this work. So while I've been cleaning and dusting out the inner part that is the storage belly of the machine cabinet, I tipped this up, and I think this is just absolutely unique. Somebody carved a number onto here, and I don't know what that's for. 375404375. then here, all your bobbin workings are under the machine. It's not enclosed for service. Very neat. So when you rotate, I don't know if I can let go. Rotate the hand, crank. You can see your bobbin moving here. And that has its own part number, 32529. Looks like. Just a beautiful unit, connecting rods. See there with a yoke. Connects this rod. So it's like your driving rod connecting the bobbin. And then it looks like the more I look at it, somehow this opens. Maybe I'll just, there's a screw there for servicing that area. It's just your thumb screw for your needle, maybe. No, it's not. It's the thumb screw for the side.
I did a flip. But I wasn't very weird.
Yeah. I bet you that is not original. And maybe there was another thumb screw here. That whole size matches. So we'll look for another one of those as well. Yep. Here we go. Sorry, I don't have another light to show you better. It's just a beautiful piece. I know I keep saying it's beautiful, but I don't think that is supposed to be a thumb screw. I think it is supposed to just be that. Because that's designed like a keyway to go on there the way it came off. What does that do? Okay. Well, I tell you, I'm just like a kid in a candy store here. This is the lever for the presser foot. See that? But the enameled artwork of this machine is so detailed. Now, I don't know if they had appliques back then or if this is all hand painted on. It kind of looks like there's a bit of an edge, like it was applied. Very, very early stickers. Hard to say. So if you know, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what I need here, and I'll look on my own in the meantime. But she's just cleaning up nicely. I'm going to go ahead. I've been polishing as I go. And I got these all shined up. I took them out in order so that if they have any issues going back in. This looks like the seed pods of poppies. Just see how it's... I don't know why anybody would want to take one of these apart and salvage it. I have seen bases alone for sale. Oh, I'm going to get out the lemon oil and start polishing all of this. It's got a guard here, a skirt guard, so that it doesn't take the user's own fabric from their skirt into the machine. Now, I know this may not be as fascinating to some people, but people collect all kinds of things, and my husband and I just like old things, and I have sewn since I was very young. Now, if you want to do a full restoration on something like this, you could disassemble the cast iron. I more like doing polishing to it and leaving it as is, showing that years of wear. It's like a badge that this was a used, thing. This woman bought this and worked on this. We know she sewed drapes. There's dress fitting pieces. Maybe she was making her kids' clothes. And the fact that the paperwork said Durand, that's a very small railroad town. Very small railroad town, just outside of Flint. It's actually about halfway between Flint and Lansing. My mother lived in the next small burg near there called Bancroft when I was small, and her father worked for the railroad. And I don't know the years for that, but people in that area did not have money to go buy a new machine like this. So with the fact that she used a trade-in machine, I think they said on the paperwork $5 credit for the old machine, and she had to pay another $10 over a few months. And I'm just using this lemon oil, and this is just something that I picked up at a local store. It's a pretty good sized container, and I use it basically to clean up all my Etsy products. It's got a nice smell to it. Well, nice enough if you don't mind the lemon smell. It's not citrusy lemon. It reminds me of the cleaning smell of a hospital. You don't want to leave excess oil on it, because then it's going to get to be like kitchen grease, kitchen fur. It's going to attract everything to it. Finding a few spiders as I go. Just a little dab on my cloth. And I'm doing this on my kitchen floor because it's easy cleanup for me. Oh, this would just look beautiful. I have to show you this. See it. Tap it. Just tap, make it go. The lady sits there and rocks her foot. The thing goes. So I don't have my belt hooked up. I decided I better do my cleaning on bottom first. Being the size house that I have, I would never think that I had the space to go buy something like this. But to find it just sitting there like that, I'd like to stop back. And I actually went back and checked around where I had found it, because my son and I loaded it sideways to get it into the trunk of the car to see if the screw was around there anywhere. We didn't find one. But like I said, we've got this 100-year-old house that we've been working on, and we have got jars and jars full of old screws that we've saved over the years from that project and others. Here's another section that, now that I've polished it, you can see it a lot better. I don't know what this is supposed to be. As I was polishing it, it looks like a ear of corn. If you know, I don't know, maybe it's a sewing needle, because again, here's the thread making the letter S. And the needles. it's the same as the copper badge on the top. Senior Manufacturing Company.
What's that?
Just, I know it. Beautiful cast iron,
What is this?
detailed work. Well, I've got some learning to do about this great old gal, but she cleaned up beautifully. Everything is cleaned and oiled on the cabinet, the hardware, and we're just going to figure out the proper folding down method so that this doesn't snap. If you know, I've been searching some videos already. I'm going to look through my owner's manual. I just asked husband about that. You have to really, really stretch this tight to get that attached. There's really not room to rock this backwards very far at all. So I don't want to repair it and then just snap it again and lose another 1/4 inch from making a mistake. So if you have a link, drop it down below and I will learn what I can. Thanks for watching, everybody.